Today I will be listing the worst fighters of 2024. Before I get into this list, let me just say that these fighters could still turn it around next year, and some are even decent fighters, but just happen to have a really bad 2024. Basically how my list worked for the best fighters of 2024. So make sure you check that video out if you haven't already seen it. Anyways, getting into the list, I'm going to start off with Marlon Vera. And let me just be honest, I was never really a big fan of the way Vera fights. I know it's been said 1,000 times, but his lack of output just makes him a boring fighter to watch for me personally. In 2024, he lost to Sean O'Malley in a title fight and then to Figueiredo. Also, let me say this, I was never a fan of him getting that title shot, and that's not just me saying this in hindsight because of how that fight went. I genuinely did not like that fight when it was made. I know some people liked it because they thought that maybe Vera was O'Malley's kryptonite, but he never should have gotten that title shot in the first place. And I know it may be hard to do at this point, but I do hope he can make some adjustments to his fighting style, so he can have a better 2025. Moving on to the next fighter, I have to go with Benoit Saint-Denis. So much hype, but he just hasn't been able to live up to it so far. He was knocked out by Dustin Poirier and then got dominated by Moicano. Now he did lose to two really good fighters, and many believe that he was rushed into that fight with Poirier, but I mean, and I hate even using this word, but he lost a lot of that aura he built up. In that fight with Poirier, I liked his chances. I won't lie. I know it looks dumb now, but I genuinely thought he could win that fight. The next fighter is Tai Tuivasa. I mean, you had to know this one was coming. He lost to Tybura and Rosenstrike in 2024, but his losing streak goes even further back. He hasn't won a fight since February of 2022. I don't even know who he should fight next. He's probably on the verge of getting cut. Or now that I think about it, maybe not. Just how bad that heavyweight division is, maybe he sticks around. But I would imagine his next fight has gotta be somebody unranked, because I don't think he can afford another loss. The next fighter I have on my list is Alexander Rakic. Rakic returned to the octagon this year after almost 2 years of not fighting. He was knocked out by Yuri and then lost a decision to Ankalaev. His performance in the Ankalaev fight was more disappointing than anything because he was very timid. Even when it was clear he was losing, I was just confused. The Yuri fight went a little different. I remember watching that fight thinking he was going to finish Yuri. Yuri is obviously open to getting hit, but he ended up getting caught. But I still didn't lose confidence in Rakic after that fight, and I think the Ankalaev fight, he just didn't show me anything. But the good thing for him is that in the light heavyweight division, a lot of the guys at the top, Pereira's already beaten. So if he wins his next fight, he's not too far from getting a title shot, I think. The next fighter I have on this list is Jared Cannonier. I mean, Father Time is undefeated. Cannonier has losses to both Imavov and Caio this year. The Imavov stoppage was early, and I know people were outraged over that, and it's true, it was early, but I do think that even if that referee had let it go on, Imavov was on his way to finish him anyways. Cannonier is of course 40 years old, so it's about that time anyways for him, but this year basically made it certain that a title shot is a long shot. I mean, after that early stoppage loss, a win against Caio would have put him back in that title picture, especially if Strickland could win the title back, considering, I have a win over Strickland, you could say that. But back-to-back losses, a lot of rising talent in the middleweight division. It's going to be hard for a 40-year-old to build himself back up again. And considering his next fight is against unranked Gregory Rodriguez. The next fighter, and this one hurts me because I want to see him win, but he also went 0-2 this year. It's none other than Paulo Costa, a decision loss to both Whitaker and Strickland. We've learned many things about Costa over the years, and one of them is that regardless of his physique, he is not a very heavy puncher. He just doesn't possess the knockout power, and I don't know if I like his chances to outpoint a lot of these other top middleweights. I'll be rooting for him to turn it around, but I mean, I'm just thinking of him fighting Izzy, fighting Hamza, fighting Dricus, fighting Strickland, fighting Kyle, fighting Imavov, fighting Anthony Hernandez, who's on the come up. I don't know if I like his chances. Now moving on to a very disappointing fighter who isn't nearly as skilled as the other guys on the list, Robelis Despain. I mean, how disappointing was this? I'm not surprised necessarily with how his UFC career went, but I was hoping he would turn out good. He won his debut, but then proceeded to lose his next two and get cut by the UFC. And it's clear he can't compete. He's just not good enough to compete, and that's sad, to be honest, considering the mess that the heavyweight division is in. I mean, some of those ranked guys, right? Like some of those ranked guys aren't very good, and the fact that he's struggling with unranked heavyweights, I was rooting for him. You know, we need more good heavyweights. His first fight, he looked exciting, but he's not good enough. Simple as that. Another fighter that's having a bad 2024 is Gilbert Burns. He's 0-2 in 2024 with losses to JDM and Sean Brady. I don't really know who he fights from here. I mean, he has options in the welterweight division. I wouldn't mind seeing him fight a guy like Kobe, whose future is also a little uncertain. Gilbert also isn't having a great time outside of the octagon, leaking Chael's number on Twitter. I mean, it got us an entertaining Chael video, so I'll take it. But anyways, that's where I'm going to end this video. Let me know any fighter that I didn't put on this list that had a bad 2024. Until next time, peace.